what's up guys? Hope everybody's doing well and having a great day. In this video, we're going back down to Antarctica. Location shared with me by James L. of what appears to be a mysterious blue orb. Kind of reminded me of a Apollo mission pod, a landing pod that would drop into the ocean upon returning from the moon. Kind of looks like that. Also have another location of what appears to be a very tall tower. We're going to come back and take a look at both of those locations here in just a moment. Also in this video, I've got a brand new picture slideshow, new sky phenomena photos sent in from all around the world. But first, I want to take you guys down to Antarctica. Here's the location. Right here is where we're going to be focusing most of our attention. You're going to see a long shadow somewhere in the neighborhood of 650 feet long. Here's exactly where we are with respect to the icy continent right over here, basically south of New Zealand. All right, here we go. This is pretty interesting. First, I'm going to show you the very long shadow on the ground, and we'll measure it, and you'll see it's around 650 feet long. Before we measure this shadow, let's measure some other shadows in the nearby area, just to kind of show that this isn't necessarily some sort of an anomaly. There is something there that's very, very tall. This shadow here is showing that the cliff here, whatever this is about 50 feet tall, approximately. You know, it's not perfect, but it's a pretty good idea of how tall the structure is. Here's another shadow being cast on the ground from what looks like a cliff. Let's measure it, kind of get an idea of how tall the cliff is. Just over 200 feet tall. Looks about right. Here's another shadow over here being cast from that location. Let's check it out. Measure from here to here, saying that it's about 150 feet tall down here on this end. Looks to be in line. It looks pretty close. This one here, however, is a much different story. Here's a still image I took as it's turned around. Look at that thing. Unbelievably tall. In fact, I'll turn it around to match the screen grab. Here we go. Look at that. Looks like the Empire State Building or something. Unbelievable. So the object that we're measuring is right here. See the top of it's kind of red. It's got some gold and yellow coming down the sides. Check this out. So we're going to measure it from top to bottom. Right over in here. 625 feet tall. That's how long that shadow is that's being cast by this object right here. That, according to this shadow, is standing a staggering 620 feet tall. Doesn't fit in with anything else in the area. So it makes you wonder, how did that get there? You know, it just doesn't fit in with any of its neighbors. And it appears, at least from this perspective, to be a natural artifact. In fact, let's go into the 2D mode. Can't really get a much better look, but you can get a good look at that shadow. That shadow is over 600 feet long. So what is this thing? Kind of weird, right? Just doesn't belong, does not fit in with its surroundings. And there's another shadow over here. See it, the slender one? We'll measure it real quick. It's not near as tall as the other one, but it is 80 feet tall, telling us that this object here, whatever that may be, that does kind of look out of place, it's a different color, is just over 80 feet tall. And if you look at the sides of the taller structure, you've got one here, and you've also got one here. Then it tapers off to what looks like a fairly sharp point. Again, that's over 600 feet tall. There's nothing in this area even remotely close to 600 feet tall. So it just looks out of place. Whatever it is, I'll leave it up to you guys to decide. I have no idea, but it certainly doesn't look like any of the other rocks in that area. And continuing on in this area, this next location was shared with me by James L. I happened to find this shadow myself. I was just looking around as I found this area curious when James sent me here. I got to looking around for other things. But here's where we're going. On top of this little mountain range, and he noticed what looks like some sort of a blue disc down here in the shadow, and there's also a shadow being cast by the peak of this mountain range. That's clear for the most part, but down here in this shadow, there's something that's a completely different color. So what I did was I took some screen grabs, did some enhancement work on this area right here, and it looks like to me one of the Apollo mission landing pods that drop into the ocean. Check this out. Here's the location. It's just over 130 feet wide, pretty good size, and it's right there in that location that I just showed you where the tall shadow's at. The tall shadow's right over there at the 11 o'clock position of this object here. So here it is in the shadow of this mountaintop. So we're going to go in for a much closer look. You're going to see what looks like a round feature right in the center on top of this thing, and it makes it look like it's raised in the center. See right there? Let me pause it for a second. There's a pretty obvious circle right here in the center. This image here is enhanced. In fact, the next few you're going to see are enhanced. Here it is in another format, and you can see even better that round feature that looks like it's on the top. It looks like it goes up in the center. Like maybe it stands up, 6, 7, 8 feet tall in the center, round on the sides, 130 feet wide. That's what it reminded me of. That's an Apollo lander from the Apollo moon missions many years ago. Top looks round and smaller. The base is obviously bigger than the top. Here it is in yet another format. And you can also see other features. See what looks like a straight line here and here? Almost looks like maybe a doorway, maybe a hatch. Goes up to the upper circle. I don't know. It just looks out of place. You guys tell me what we're looking at here. Here's another comparison to one of the Apollo mission landing pods, and you can see how they kind of favor each other. This is obviously not brown. It's kind of a blue, a grayish color. I don't know. Here you can see the round circle on the top. Very much favors one of those landing pods. In fact, looks almost identical with some regard. Here it is in another enhanced format. This here it looks like a slate gray. And again, it favors one of the Apollo landers that landed in the ocean, bringing the astronauts back from the moon. Here it is in yet another format. Kind of get the idea. Top's got a circle on it, like that has a round top. Goes to a bigger base. Got features on the side. I don't know. I was just trying to think outside the box as to what this could be. James ran across this location, shared it with me. I'm just passing it along, guys. Here I measured it, and it comes up around 133 feet wide. That's approximate, give or take a foot or two. Looks to be a bluish color. It's really difficult to tell. This is the original. This is unenhanced. That's how it looks on Google Earth. The coordinates are coming up. I'm going to give you guys the coordinates if you want to go check it out. But it just looks out of place, much like the tower looks out of place. That's over 600 feet tall. This, too, is in the same general location. I'm not saying that they're affiliated with one another, but it's just two objects fairly close to each other down in Antarctica that look totally out of place. There's the coordinates down below, and you can also find the coordinates in the description box. So something different for sure. You don't see big blue orbs every day down in Antarctica. Also in this video, I've got a brand new picture slideshow, new sky phenomena photos sent in from all around the world. These photos here were sent in by Barry out of Scotland of some super ominous looking storm clouds in the daytime sky above Scotland. And then the skies went from ominous to very pleasant. Big halo around the sun. Here you've got a bird flying into a sundog, or at least in the proximity thereof. Daniel out of Peyton, Colorado, captured this lightning strike in front of a double-decker rainbow. Very low clouds here in the foreground. And it looks like this lightning strike made contact with something there on the ground. It looks like, to me, it went right into that tree behind that house. Clearly, it latched onto something. Next photo here sent in by Kisha out of Evansville, Indiana. She said she looked up and this reminded her of an angel soaring through the daytime sky. Uma R. out of Missouri. Looks like the sky has got a crack in it up here that comes down here and does a hard left-hand turn. Watch this. You're going to see it make a 90-degree turn right there. Unbelievable. Next photo was sent in by Tanya S. out of Virginia. Got this split sky phenomenon. Don't see that very often. Photos here sent in by Cody of Mothman Photography out of Maryland. Noticed a lonesome rainbow, or at least a partial rainbow, in the daytime sky. All by itself. Wasn't raining, just a partial horizontal rainbow in the daytime sky. Great job, guys. Keep the photos coming. If you have any photos you'd like to share, you can send those to reports at MrMBB333.com. All the photos end up here at the Sky Phenomena Photo Gallery at the website, and sometimes I'll use them in a video just like you saw right here. Thanks for watching. Have a super day, and be safe out there.